17 Top Tourist Attractions in Istanbul. 17. Spice Bazaar, a literal treat for the senses. Istanbul's colorful and chaotic Spice Bazaar is a fun and fragrant place to explore. One of the most famous and popular covered shopping complexes in the city, its spice-laden stalls and shops lie in the Fatih district, within walking distance of the Blue Mosque and Hagia Sophia. 16. Kız Kulesi, occupying a small islet at the southern entrance to the Bosphorus Strait. The ancient watchtower of Kız Kulesi makes for a striking sight. Meaning the Maiden's Tower in Turkish, it has an observation deck and restaurant that offer fantastic views over Istanbul. 15. Gulhane Park, one of the largest, most beautiful parks in Istanbul. Gulhane lies right alongside the top tourist attraction, Topkapi Palace. Once only accessible to the royal court, its gorgeous grounds and gardens are a delight, with the park boasting some stunning scenery and divine views over the Bosphorus. Popular with locals and tourists alike, its leafy paths take you past pretty flower beds and fountains with lush green spaces and groves of trees dotted about. In addition, it contains the Istanbul Museum of the History of Science and Technology in Islam, and the Sublime Porte, a remarkable Rococo gate that once led to the outermost courtyard of the palace. 14. Galata Bridge, spanning the breadth of the Golden Horn. Galata Bridge is one of Istanbul's most loved landmarks, having featured in countless plays and poems, paintings, and novels over the years. The fifth bridge to stand in the same spot. It connects the city center to the site of the Imperial Palace and other important institutions, such as Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque, lined by fishermen. The bridge offers up delightful views over the surrounding waters, with shops, restaurants, and nargile cafes to be found beneath it. With seagulls shrieking overhead, boats passing below, and the spires of mosques to be spied atop of the surrounding hills, Galata Bridge really is an atmospheric place to visit and is very lively at almost all times of the day. 13. Hippodrome, now a popular meeting place and promenade, the Hippodrome used to instead host dramatic chariot races, gladiator fights, and even political debates. While not much of it remains, the square is pleasant to stroll around, with some amazing ancient monuments and statues still on show. Highlights now include its almost 3,500-year-old obelisk of Theodosius and gorgeous German fountain, with the Blue Mosque also lying alongside it. 12. Taksim Square, the heart of modern Istanbul. The large and lively Taksim Square lies right in the center of the city, surrounded by countless shops and restaurants, hotels, and historic sites. Not only a popular tourist attraction and major transportation hub, it hosts lots of public events, with everything from parades to protests taking place. Taksim borders the multi-purpose Ataturk Cultural Center, which hosts operas, plays and concerts, while a charming heritage tram line also meanders its way through the square. 11. Fener and Balat, full of beautiful old buildings, bustling businesses, magnificent churches and synagogues. The winding cobbled streets of Fener and Balat are a treat to explore. Lying alongside the Golden Horn on the European side of Istanbul, the two historic neighborhoods are increasingly popular with tourists due to their scenic streets and lovely ambience. 10. Galata Tower, at 67 meters, 219 feet, high, the Galata Tower rules over the Istanbul skyline, offering great views of the old city and its surroundings. The medieval stone tower, known as the Tower of Christ, was the tallest building in Istanbul when it was built in 1348 IT, still stands tall over Istanbul today. The tower has been modified over the centuries, at one time being used as an observation tower to spot fires. Today, its upper reaches include a cafe, restaurant, and a nightclub, both reached by elevator in the 9-story building, where one can find the stunning vistas. 9. Istanbul Archaeological Museum, one of the most important museums in Turkey. The Istanbul Archaeological Museum is actually 3 museums: the Archaeological Museum, the Ancient Orient Museum, and the Tiled Kiosk Museum. The 3 museums combined contain more than 1 million objects from civilizations around the world. Founded in 1891, it was the first Turkish museum, and was located on the Topkapi Palace grounds. The tiled kiosk dates back to 1472. The museums contain thousands of precious artifacts, including the sarcophagus of Alexander the Great. 8. The Kora Church may be a little bit off the beaten tourist path, but visitors say the beautiful Byzantine art is well worth the effort to get there. Magnificent mosaics and frescoes depict the life of Jesus and his mother, Mary. Known as the Church of the Holy Savior in Kora, it has been described as one of the most beautiful surviving works of Byzantine architecture. Dating back to the days of Constantine, the Chora was a monastery in its early years. A few centuries later, it became a mosque, and in 1948, it was converted to a museum. 7. The Basilica Cistern has been providing Istanbul residents with water since the 6th century, when it was ordered built by the Roman Emperor Justinian I. A visit leaves travelers raving about the technology the ancient Romans used to build this architectural wonder that was very advanced. For its day, the underground cistern, just a few steps away from the Blue Mosque, was built on the site of a basilica that was constructed in the 3rd century. Known as the Sunken Palace, the cistern can hold up to 2.8 million cubic feet of water. The cistern is one of the locations used in From Russia with Love, a James Bond thriller filmed in 1963. 6. Dolmabahce Palace. Luxurious, plush and beautiful are just some of the adjectives used to describe the Dolmabahce Palace, which has been compared to the Palace of Versailles. Built in the 19th century using 14 tons of gold leaf, Turkey's most glamorous palace blends traditional Ottoman architecture with the European styles of neoclassical, Baroque and Rococo. Home to 6 sultans from 1856 to 1924, it also is home to the world's largest Bohemian crystal chandelier, a gift from Queen Victoria. The Dolmabahce Palace's setting is stunning. It was built along the Bosphorus coastline. 5. Suleymani Mosque. Visitors to the Suleymani Mosque say its beauty and peacefulness gives them an inspiring sense of spirituality. Located on the 3rd hill of Istanbul, the mosque was ordered built in 1550 by the Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. The mosque, indeed, is magnificent, blending the best of Islamic and Byzantine architecture. The mosque was extensively damaged over the years, including during World War I when a fire broke out while the gardens were used as a weapons depot. It was restored in the mid-20th century. The mosque is marked by 4 minarets, indicating it was built by a sultan. When it was built, the dome was the highest in the Ottoman Empire. 4. Grand Bazaar. Travelers who love to shop shouldn't miss out on a visit to the Grand Bazaar, with 5,000 shops making it one of the largest indoor marketplaces in the world. Receiving more than 250,000 visitors a day, the bazaar features such items as jewelry, carpets that may or may not fly, spices, antiques and hand-painted ceramics. The bazaar dates back to 1461 and today is home to 2 mosques, 4 fountains, 2 hammams or steam baths, and the Sevahir Badesin, where the rarest and most valuable items have been found traditionally. Here is where shoppers will find old coins, jewelry with precious gems, inlaid weapons, and antique furniture. 3. Topkapi Palace is one of the must-see attractions in Istanbul that combines history and stunning scenery, in an experience that is not to be rushed. For almost 4 centuries, the opulent Topkapi Palace served as the official residence of the sultans who ruled the Ottoman Empire. It is one of the world's largest extant palace. Sultan Mehmed II started work on the palace shortly after the conquest of Constantinople in 1453 and lived here until his death in 1481 in 1924. The palace became a museum that exhibits an extensive collection of art, porcelain, jewelry, manuscripts, and other treasures of the Ottoman Empire. The palace is also home to venerated Islamic relics, including the Prophet Muhammad's sword and cloak. Most of the stunning complex is open to the public. 2. The Blue Mosque, built in the early 17th century, remains an active house of worship today. This means visitors need to time their visits carefully, as the mosque is closed to sightseers during the 5 daily prayer times for Muslims. All visitors must remove their shoes and women must cover their hair. This is a small price to pay for seeing its priceless treasures that include 20,000 ceramic tiles in various tulip designs, and 200 stained glass windows, all with intricate designs. The mosque, built by Sultan Ahmet, takes its name from the blue tiles on the dome and the upper levels of the interior. 1. The Hagia Sophia is a masterwork of Roman engineering, with its massive dome, 102 feet or 31 meters in diameter, that covers what was for over 1,000 years the largest enclosed space in the world. Hagia Sophia is the Greek term for holy wisdom and refers to Jesus Christ, the Holy Trinity's second person. Constructed between 532 and 537 on the orders of the Byzantine Emperor Justinian, the structure was an Eastern Orthodox cathedral until 1453, except for about 60 years in the 1200s when it served as a Roman Catholic cathedral. In 1453, Ottoman Turks captured Constantinople and converted the edifice into a mosque, removing or plastering over many Christian relics and replacing them with Islamic features. The building closed in 1931, and the Republic of Turkey reopened it as a museum in 1935. Thank you for watching the video. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share for more beautiful content.